What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So Treasure Map Nami is here today, and of course in this video, like we always do, we're going to be doing a playthrough video with the teams that I've created. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Treasure Map Nami is honestly a little bit tricky, I find, and the main reason for that is because the most recent Sugo Fest exclusive character to debut, the Halloween Ace, is actually really good for this event, like ridiculously useful. Maybe not so much for the Nami fight, but for the end boss against Boa Hancock, having access to Halloween Ace friend captains is so valuable. It just means that certain effects you really don't have to worry about, because as many of you know, Halloween Ace has a really powerful captain ability that enables him to avoid special bind, which is really good, because on the final boss against Boa, you guys will see how that plays into account. But first of all, we have the Intrusion Battle against this Nami right here. We'll go ahead and get into that fight in just a minute, but let me know down below in the comment section how you guys have been finding it so far, because so far I feel like for me personally, I have a pretty good array of Ace friend captains. I asked on Twitter a couple of days ago to add up a few Ace friend captains, and it definitely makes a big difference. Not gonna lie there, like I'm not gonna say it's not, because having access to Ace friend captains makes it a lot easier. If you have Ace yourself, it's actually really stupid how easy this event actually is, and I talked about it a little bit on stream today, the fact that I really don't like the fact that, you know, having access to one specific legend makes the rest of the fights really easy. It would be nice if there was a little bit more variety, even if it was just the fact that, you know, you could basically run it just with less points, but it just feels like Ace is such a requirement to make this so easy. I'm not really a massive fan of it. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first one is going to be against Intrusion Nami, as I said. This is going to be my actual team against it. Now, teams may differ from the team breakdown video that I made either yesterday or the day before. So mind you, I did mention that video that teams may change because of the way that stuff plays out. But the team that I'm going to be using, we are going to be using a friend captain, Halloween Ace, and it's going to make things a lot easier, of course, because Ace is a really strong captain. But we are obviously utilizing Luffy as the captain here. We don't really need to use his special because we are still in the earlier nav levels. We've got the Coliseum Kuma as well. He's really good for this fight and also against the final fight against Boa Hancock. We also have the Doflamingo here to give us an orb boost because we don't have an orb booster on our team. And then we've got the two treasure map rare recruits that I pulled, being Arlong and also Miss Doublefinger. Those guys are definitely going to help out a lot in this fight as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it. One thing to note as well with this Intrusion Battle is on stage 1 where you get additional cooldowns given to your characters, which is quite important actually, because you don't really get too much time before you get just thrown into the boss. You have to take into consideration that only shooters and fighter characters will get their cooldowns reduced by 5 turns against this Nami fight. Well, Bato is the one that does it, right? So that's going to be important. I would suggest bringing fighters and shooters. I actually had no idea that was going to happen. So bringing fighters and shooters makes a big difference here. Now, stage 2 against this Nami, we can see we get paralysis and increased damage taken. The increased damage taken is whatever. We don't really have to worry about that. But we can use Miss Doublefinger here to go ahead and remove the paralysis. Another thing as well is that Miss Doublefinger will go ahead and give us 2 turns of a chain lock. The thing here is that on the next turn, if we don't kill Nami in 1 turn, it's going to be a big deal. But in the next turn, I think Nami applies a chain lock to our team, a very non-beneficial chain lock. So we want to kill her in 1 turn so that this chain lock that we currently have can pass through the preemptive of the final boss. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And hopefully hit our perfects. We do have a 2.5 chain lock, which does make a big difference, but eventually I will have to use a special here in order to enhance my damage output. But at this current point in time, it's not really a big deal. Honestly, I could get away with using Halloween Ace on that stage there, and then we can use Dofi on this stage to get an attack and an orb boost. But you can see we get a full board of block orbs. She has 3 turns of a rainbow shield here, and that's basically what happens. And it's pretty straightforward, right? So we're going to go ahead and use Kuma to remove the rainbow shield on the Nami, and then we're also going to go ahead and use the Arlong special to go ahead and give us a full board of matching slots, and he also gives us a color affinity boost, which is very good. Now, we can actually go ahead and use the Luffy special here, but it's not totally necessary. We can just get away with just using a Dofi special, which gives our characters a 1.75 attack and orb boost because she does have a full immunity buff. And at this point, it's pretty much just GG. We can, as I said, use the Luffy special there, but again, not really too important right now. 4.2 million damage, and we didn't even attack with type advantage, so no real big qualms with that one. But we'll go ahead and move along the treasure map, and we'll talk about the next boss once we get there. So now we've gone ahead and made it to the battle rush without versing any of the bosses along the way. Unfortunately, I did pick up a driven attack down. I'm not really too sure if that shouldn't really be a big issue for us anyway, but the first boss is going to be against Chopper. So this is the team I'm using against him. I'm using Halloween Luffy as my main captain for this fight, and the rest of the team, which we'll talk about in just a second, I do have Trafalgar Law from the treasure map here. Now, yes, he is a 1.1 times point booster, but because every other unit on this team is a 1.35 times point booster, I don't really care about it too much, because with this situation, we can use the Luffy special, and because it binds himself, we can then use Trafalgar Law with the support of Whitey Bay to unbind our Luffy. Unfortunately, no other good bind removers are boosted higher than this Law that I can fit on my team, so this is why we're resorting to Law. Then we've also got the Chopper to remove paralysis, and then we've got Coalla because she's a Psy unit with type advantage and she can deal a decent amount of damage. And then once again, Doflamingo's here to give us attack or boost, whatever it is. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and we'll show how this all plays out. So now we've made it to the final boss fight against Chopper. Now, his preemptive attack, he actually paralyzes our middle row. So Law and Coalla will get paralyzed here. He also changes our orbs into either badly matching, or he will give us matching slots as well. That was actually a mistake that I made in my actual preparation video. I said that he will only give you badly matching slots. I actually didn't realize it's actually badly matching or matching slots. Either way, it doesn't really make much of a difference anyway. So with this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going ahead and using the Luffy special. Luffy gives us a full board of matching slots because of the tandem slots. He does bind himself, which is a problem, but this is why we go ahead and bring the Trafalgar Law, because it removes bind by 2 turns, and then with the support of Whitey Bay, we can remove an additional 2 turns of that. And then to remove the paralysis, we want to go ahead and use this Chopper here. Chopper's really, really nice. Obviously not a requirement, but you could run someone like the new rare recruit, Reiju, who actually, if your captain is Shooter or Cerebral, she changes Shooter and Cerebral characters slots into matching, which is pretty good. And she also removes paralysis as well, so that's a really good replacement unit. And then we can use Doflamingo here to give us an attack and orb boost once again, because he does have a delay protector, which helps out a lot. And with all this is going to be more than enough damage to take down Chopper for a pretty good amount of time. So not really too worried about this one. It's not the most fun team in the world, but it gets the job done. So that's it for that one. The next boss after this is the Reiju fight. Reiju is pretty simple, actually. I'd say Reiju is like the easiest of all the bosses, and the main reason for that is because out of all the debuffs that she applies, like she buffs herself, she gives herself threshold and stuff. The thing is there is one really cool free-to-play character that literally removes everything that you need to, and you can just clear her in one turn. And that is the new Colosseum ores that just came out. So the team I am running for this is a full powerhouse team. Now, definitely replacement units you could provide here. Like, it's not a big deal. I am running Legend Kaido in this team, but it doesn't really matter. The only reason why Kaido is here is because he's a Dex powerhouse unit. You can replace him with, like, Colosseum Hody Jones, for example. Because I want to be running the Germa ship. I want to make sure that my cooldowns are as low as possible, and we're going to go ahead and run through this, and you guys are going to see how easy this team just melts through the Reiju fight. So now we've made it to stage 7 of the Reiju fight, and as I said, Colosseum Ores is going to be the MVP for this particular fight. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could literally run double Ores as the captain if you wanted to get more points. That's fine, you could definitely do that. I would just prefer to run it a little bit faster here. So with this, we can go ahead and use Ores to remove the attack down that got inflicted on our side of the field, as well as removing the threshold that got applied to the enemy side of the field. Now you can see we are still applied with Toxic, but as long as we're killing in one turn, we don't really have to worry about the Toxic. So the next thing is Treasure Map Big Mom, one of the best free-to-play units in the game, and I've said it in many different videos. I think Treasure Map Big Mom is like the first or second best TM unit in the entire game. Just her special allows you to just destroy bosses without any issues. Like, just with this alone, like, we just get so much damage output here. Like, just 2-tapping the boss, lots and lots of damage. We didn't even get the dual captain effect with Sanji and Judge. Like, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you have that Ores to remove everything, you're not going to have any issues whatsoever in that fight. So now, moving on to the next fight. So we just finished Reiju. The next one after this is against the Coalla boss. Now, Coalla is not too tricky, actually. Again, some free-to-play units are going to help you clear this, pretty easily. And the character that is going to help you out a lot is Colosseum Cat Viper. He's really good here because the enemy does have a debuff, or it's either a full immunity or a delay immunity, one of the two, on the final boss fight. So you can just use his special to give you a full board of matching orbs and an attack boost, and you're good to go. So we'll go ahead and run through it with my Katakuri team, and we'll explain it more once we get to the final boss fight. So now moving on to the final boss fight against Coalla, the main thing here is that you actually will be inflicted with special limits. So you can only use one special per turn for only 1 turn. So the first turn of attacks, you are very restricted in what you can do here. You can see that our ship is also special binded as well, which doesn't really make a big difference. That's fine. She does have healing at the end of a turn. She does have delay immunity. But as I said, the big thing here is by using Colosseum Cat Viper, we can get a full board of orbs and an attack boost for our entire team. Now, because we have so much type advantage and a really good multiplier with KonradCurze as our captain, even hypothetically, if we don't kill Coalla here, we can still get the delay off with KonradCurze's captain ability, and then in the following turn, we could activate a KonradCurze special, we could use a Smoothie special, we could use a Blackbeard special, whatever we wanted to do in order to take her down from that point onwards. So yeah, it's really not a big deal as long as you got even just a KonradCurze friend captain. That's going to be more than enough with Colosseum Neko as a sub in order to get through this pretty straightforward. So no real big issues there. And the final Battle Rush boss is against Gecko Moria. For that particular boss, I will be using one of the also new Super Evolution characters that came out during this month on Global, being Legend Robin. So it's cool to go ahead and actually get access to Legend Robin with her Super Evolution. Since her Super Evolution debuted, I really haven't had a chance to play around with her yet. I've mainly been focusing on my boy Mr. Slam Jam, but it's actually really cool that we get to go ahead and play around with her for you guys in this video today. So as for subs I'm using here, I am using Vivi and Rebecca as a sub, and the main reason for that is because on the final boss fight, we want to remove blue shield buff, the increased defense effect, and with Vivi and Rebecca, we're able to do that, as well as applying a 2.5 times chain lock with their switch effect, which definitely makes a big difference. Having access to Treasure Map Hawkins is really good for this fight as well, because he has type advantage, and he can grant you some beneficial slots if you need it. And then we are running the newly debuted Halloween Nami on this team for no reason, just because she's a high point booster, and she's a cerebral unit, which will be boosted by Robin. We are running Treasure Map Saba here as well, not really a big issue having him there or not. You can replace him with whatever you want, but he does provide a conditional boost, which is optional, definitely not required for this team to work. So we'll jump into it, and I'll see you guys on stage 7. So now we made it to the boss stage against Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is pretty straightforward. He doesn't actually have any immunity buffs, so you can literally poison him, delay him, reduce his defense, whatever you want to do. You can do it against this guy. You can see he does have the blue shield defense. We will be removing that with the ability of Vivi and Rebecca. So first of all, you can see we get a full board of badly matching slots, which is never a good thing. You could literally just activate the special ability of Basil Hawkins, and you'll get a full board of matching orbs here. We're going to go ahead and use the switch ability of the Vivi Rebecca to go ahead and give us the chain lock. We'll then use their special ability to remove the blue shield buff, and it also gives us a color affinity boost. So it means that Basil Hawkins is going to be hitting extremely hard here. We'll then go ahead and use the Robin special ability for the 2x attack boost. And at this point, like, we don't even really need to activate the Basil Hawkins special, but I mean, we're going to do it anyway. Let's get a full board of matching slots. And because we have the chain lock, we can just 2-tap this guy, no problems. 6.5 million damage. We can stall 1 turn as well to get the Sabo special activated, which will enhance our damage by an additional 1.75 times. So either way, this is going to be lasting pretty much throughout the entire duration of the treasure map. Pretty good amount of point boosts there, and that's it. So all the Battle Rush bosses are now complete, and now we can focus on the final boss, which is against the Boa Hancock. So we'll go ahead and jump into it, and we'll go ahead and talk about it more once we get to stage 6 against the mini-boss. So now we've done that, let's go ahead and talk about stage 6. So this is the mini-boss against this Luffy, and once again, having Ace as the friend captain makes a big difference for this fight, because you can see our subs will be special binded by 3 turns. Having Ace as our captain removes that, which makes a big difference. Now, you can see he does have a resilience buff as well, so having a resilience buff on the enemy is kind of annoying to deal with. But a really good character you can bring that can kind of mitigate this is this Boa Hancock here, because when you use her special ability, she'll go ahead and remove resilience buffs by 2 turns. And also, if you have a Psy or Int Orb on your captain, you can get additional buffs from her special, which you can see I do have a Psy Orb, so now my shooter characters will be getting a 2 times Orb boost, which makes a really big difference here. Makes clearing this Luffy a little bit easier. If you don't want to use this Hancock here, you could use the brand newly released Halloween Doflamingo. He removes all turns of resilience on the enemy, so that is another option if you want to do that as well. But I do prefer Boa Hancock because we can actually get her conditional boost on the final boss stage, which is really good. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead and clear him. Now, if you do take 2 or 3 turns to kill him, he will apply lots of negative effects to your team. I believe he binds and despairs your characters, so you do not want to deal with that. You definitely want to go ahead and clear him like as soon as possible, ideally in the first turn, so you just don't have to deal with his damage or anything. Now, you can see that when he dies, he will go ahead and give us a chain debuff. So having a chain locker for this final boss stage makes a big difference, which is why we have Miss Double Finger. Makes a big difference, as I said. So you can see that Boa Hancock actually changes color, so you predominantly want to be bringing int characters to get type advantage here. And you can see that our subs, 2 of our subs randomly will be binded for 5 turns. We do have the support ability of Vivi to get a guaranteed matching orb on our Sabo, but it doesn't really matter. If you have Arlong here, you can get a full board of matching orbs anyway. But having that int orb guaranteed on Sabo means that we can get the conditional boost with Boa Hancock here, which we will be going ahead and activating. So we get a free 1.75 times conditional boost because it will reduce the enemy's defense, which makes a big difference. And then we're going to be going ahead and using the Kuma. Kuma's very good, as I said, really good against the Nami fight to remove Rainbow Shield. Kuma here removes the threshold on the enemy as well. So Boa Hancock unfortunately cannot remove all turns of the threshold, but luckily Kuma can go ahead and pick up the slack. Then we can go ahead and get our Chain Lock here from Miss Double Finger. Then we can go ahead and get our Orb Boost from Sabo. We can go ahead and use Arlong to get our full board of matching slots, aside from that recovery orb that Kuma gave to Miss Double Finger. And he also provides the color affinity with Arlong as well. And then we can use the Ace to get a 2.5 times attack boost. And with all that being said, this is going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, 42 million damage. That's a lot of damage, okay. So there we go. That's my teams of the current treasure map against the Halloween Nami. So hopefully you guys learned something and understand how these teams are functioning. And if you have similar characters, you can use similar teams, of course. And, you know, hopefully you guys are finding this treasure map not too difficult. As I said, Halloween Ace friend captains are going to be very valuable for this map. So hopefully you guys can pick up some. If you guys have Halloween Ace on your own account, you know, go ahead and leave your ID down below in the comment section so other players can add you up. We'll definitely help them out. But that is going to end this video today, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.